So it's January the 17th, 2017, and you know, it's just an average old Tuesday, nothing special really going on. I'm just chilling in the cafeteria at my high school, just waiting for classes to start when, oh my goodness, what's this? A notification pops up, Vine has been taken down. I mean, there was some pretty good content on there, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I didn't use the app, but I saw all the funny Vine compilations, and I was like, I gotta respect that. Rest in peace, yo. So fast forward a couple, years into the future where I currently am, and I'm just chilling, you know, surfing YouTube, nothing much to do, and it pops in my head like just out of nowhere. I remember this really funny Vine, and here it is right now.
Look at the buns on that guy.
This is the comedy police. The joke's too funny.
I'm not going back to jail!
There are two things that surprise me the most. One of them is the fact that I'm actually able to laugh at a competently made joke, but the second thing that surprises me is the dead body there that's covered in buns. I get that Vine's 6 seconds long, you can't really have too much context, otherwise you'll be going overboard with the time limit, but how did that guy get there? So then I busted out the yellow tape, called down the detective, and then we started getting cracking on some theories. Now before I start giving my whole opinion on the sort of situation here, I just want to point out that the real driving force behind this theory is the comedy policeman. But I don't believe he is who he says he is, because there's a few key details that sort of give him away. The first is that his placement on the scene is quite strange. He's basically right outside the door of where the crime scene occurred, and he basically comes in as soon as the guy says the joke. I don't know, it's kind of fishy to me, but then the second thing is that after he says that he's the comedy police, he tells the man that the joke that he said is too funny. To put it in simpler terms, essentially a comedy policeman will not ever arrest someone for making a joke that's too funny, because that would mean that they found the joke funny and in line with their political ideology, meaning that they would have no reason to step in and correct them. It could be perceived that if this guy is indeed a fraud, not a legitimate comedy policeman, then his presence in the scene could be malicious. I personally believe that this comedy policeman is the one who actually committed the crime, the one who murdered the man who's got nice buns on him. If we are to indeed say that the comedy policeman did commit the murder, then that leaves the question, why is the guy covered in buns? Here's what I think went down. So an altercation occurred between the comedy policeman and the fellow who's got the nice buns. Comedy policeman strikes him down, killing him instantly. He realizes he's committed a murder and now is trying to do the most rational thing he can think of. He's simply trying to get away with murder. So the comedy policeman comes up with this masterful scheme. He goes into his phone book, calls up somebody he knows quite well. Now, the man that we first saw at the very beginning of the Vine is the man that got called down. Now, the reason that he was called down was because the comedy policeman tried an attempt to get away with murder that many try, and that is to frame someone. Now, I am not sure if that man is a friend of his or not, but the comedy policeman seemed to know him quite well, considering he set up the crime scene perfectly. The man walks in and sees a guy on the floor with a bunch of buns on him, and immediately makes the joke, which is then followed up by the comedy policeman showing up and attempting to make an arrest. The reason I believe he knew him to a certain degree was because he knew that he was going to make a joke about buns being on a dude, and that is understandably very incriminating evidence. I mean, if that's not a psychopath, then I don't know what is. Jesus Christ, you murder a man and then cover him with buns? Like, that's some whole nother level of fucked up. Now, from there, it was as simple as the comedy policeman making the arrest, and then bada bang, bada boom. He didn't commit the murder, it was that guy that made the joke about it. Except, there was one thing that he had overlooked. There was one thing that he simply did not know about this man. No matter how close he was to him, he couldn't have known. I think it's a given that even to our closest friends, we have some secrets that absolutely nobody should know about us. And it goes both ways, so even if you think you know someone well, you might not know everything about him, and that's okay, that's just human nature, that's how we are. But you see, the comedy policeman hadn't known something about this man, and it resulted in his demise. Sometime in his life, previously, a while back, the man was a convicted felon. He was sent to jail for God knows how long, and he got a second chance, he got out. So understandably, he would not want to blow that chance on something that he didn't even do. Realizing his situation, he proceeds to panic. He then pulls out his revolver, and I can only assume shoots the policeman dead. Well, that's all there is really to it. It was simply a plan to frame someone. A brilliant plan that couldn't do no wrong, or so it seemed. think there's a few things we can learn from this situation, one of them being that if you're gonna frame someone, you should probably know everything there is to know about them. But at the same time, it's like I said, it's impossible to know everything about a single person, because they always have those secrets that they don't tell anybody. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, don't frame anyone. It's not a good idea. You'll get killed, trust me.